Right, welcome, welcome. My name is Sebastian. I am the undergrad advisor for CAPPA, which of course is the College of Architecture, Planning, and Public Affairs. And this is just kind of a presentation that fills in some of the basic fundamental information about the program and designed to give you a good sense of what awaits you as a future CAPPA student. So let's proceed. UTA is, of course, located in Arlington, Texas, right in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Here you can see the CAPPA building. This was constructed in 1986 by the Dallas firm Pratt, Box, and Henderson. And a fun fact about this one is that all of that writing on there is actually English. It's in a fancy font, but those are all the names of prominent architects from throughout history. So when you get a chance, get a closer look and you can see with just a little bit of analysis that those are all actually names in English. Pretty cool. And here we're providing you a little bit of motivation during your journey because it's gonna be tough. Anything worth doing is, and as a holder of a bachelor's degree, you will be among 33% of the adult population and generally viewed as more educated, more capable, with better job opportunities and, of course, increased pay. So tell yourself that when you're working in studio, burning the midnight oil, this is worth it. Okay. For further information about future earnings, you can check out this website because it's got a lot of good information about how your salary will increase based off of how many years you've been in your field of expertise post graduation. It's a great motivator. Look at those numbers go up. Yeah. So, what are some of the expectations going into a design based major? Well, again, this is just broad strokes here. This is a zoomed out look, but you can expect about 2 to 3 hours of homework for every hour spent in class. 12 hours in class is about 24 to 36 hours of study. And then that's not even counting what you have to do outside of school. So any kind of outside responsibilities you have, whether that be work, family, you're going to be doing about 20 hours of work a week and about 5 classes can be balanced efficiently. So definitely don't overdo it. All right, so we're getting to the basics here. Okay, so student success, what does it involve? When you're in class, take notes. By that token, definitely attend class because attendance is going to help you understand the material, but also often it is a metric that will determine your grade. So, be careful there. And then work with your fellow students. One of the great parts of the cohort system is that you're going to become familiar with the people that are experiencing these classes right alongside you. Take advantage of that. Talk to people, share your experience, and hopefully you'll make some connections. Here we have some of the features of MyMath. They're going to be available to you through the student interface that is MyMath, something that all UTA students should plan on becoming familiar with. Some of the highlights include the university catalog that you're going to be able to access easily to see your options for major courses or elective classes. The UTA academic calendar, which is great to check in with from time to time to make sure that you are not missing important dates like census date or last day to drop your classes. And then you can chart your academic progress, see how many credits that you've achieved and how many you have to go until you successfully graduate. I do want to give a shout out to Mav Planner and Mav Scheduler. These are features that a lot of students aren't aware are available to them, but they are a one-stop shop where you can easily check which courses your advisor is recommending and then schedule your classes easily without having to write it down or anything like that. So it's definitely worth checking out. Explore MyMath because initially it's going to be overwhelming and you're not going to know what to do. But with just a little bit of study, it can be very helpful for you as a student. Remember, as a UTA student, you do not have to go it alone. You have a thriving community that you should take advantage of. Okay. several resources available to you, whether it's, hey, I need a little extra help with my math class. Hey, I'd love to talk to someone about something that's been bugging me. Or even, where can I meet other students that have like-minded interests, such as myself? There's a lot of excellent resources to explore. So don't be shy about doing so. Okay, so that's, some of the general information. Let's kind of dive into the CAPPA specific stuff. And we'll do just a couple of different topics here before we round out the presentation. So please hang in there. As your advisor, I'm here to guide you along the path to academic success. I'm going to make you well aware of the decisions that are available to you and the resources that are available to you as a UTA student. Now, on your end, you definitely want to schedule an appointment if you need something, arrive on time for your appointment, and understand and accept that ultimately you are responsible for your own education and decisions. As a transfer student, you are advised by the College of Architecture, Planning, and Public Affairs. Your designation initially is ARC intended or Interior Design intended, Sustainable Urban Design intended. Ultimately, you will move from intended to officially declared during your third year with the program. And of course, you are advised by myself and the rest of the CAPPA undergraduate advising office. Your advisor contact is me, Sebastian Soul. This is a picture of me during the eclipse with the goofy glasses. You can always reach me at arc.advising@uta.edu or at our physical location in the CAPPA building, second floor, suite 203. You can't miss us. There's a big sign out front. We're going to be asking you to take a student success course to familiarize yourself with not only CAPPA as a department, but also some of the information that we feel is valuable to transfer students during their first semester here at UTA. Now, ultimately, it is for your benefit. It is required as well, so definitely get it out of the way early. Otherwise, we'll be barking up your tree about it, in later semesters when you're busier, and that's something that you don't want. Here is an indication of how long it is going to take to get through each of our major programs. The Bachelor of Science in Architecture is a pre-professional degree, and it is designed to get you prepped for the Master of Architecture program, which is fully accredited by the National Architectural Accrediting Board. Okay, so you end up saving time in your master's program by lowering that graduation time through the undergraduate architecture program. The Bachelor of Science in Interior Design is a professional degree. It is 4 years and it leads to a professional degree in interior design accredited by the Council for Interior Design Accreditation and National Association of the School of Arts and Design. Now, the Bachelor of Science in Sustainable Urban Design is a 4-year undergraduate program incorporating all the disciplines necessary to bring an urban design project to fruition, and that ultimately leads to the Master in Landscape Architecture program. Here we have some of the applications for each degree professionally. You can see that there's a lot of options for each of them. So don't think that you're going to be pigeonholed into just the standard or the typical profession, architect for architecture, interior designer for interior design, and then landscape architect for sustainable urban design. You would be surprised the array of options with any of these design degrees. So have a look, and these options are only expanding the more time goes on. So it's definitely worth a little bit of a perusal here. Double major, okay? I applaud your ambition, okay? But it's not an option, okay? There's just not enough time, okay? You've got X amount of hours that you're devoting out of your busy work schedule to do work in your studio, do assignments on the side. And if you were to take on 2, there just wouldn't be enough hours in a day. Okay, so for anyone that wants to double major, pick up a couple of minors. I'll talk to you about it. We'll work it out. Okay, this is the actual designation progression of your status as a Kappa major. And I brought this up a couple of slides ago. This is going a little bit more into depth, but basically you enter as a transfer student as an intended in whichever major that you are officially accepted to. Once you get to third year, you're going to officially enter your major. You'll be designated as junior standing, but it does require you to meet certain benchmarks. And you can see that listed here. You got a minimum 2.8 GPA, both overall and within your major. So that is the standard that you will be continually advised to meet semester to semester. Hey, boss, I just finished up at TCC and I got a bunch of classes I transferred over. So it's not going to be 4 years for me, right? Can't be a 4 year graduation time for me, right? All right. Well, congratulations on those classes, okay? And they are going to benefit you greatly, but it's still going to be 4 years to complete your degree plan. Why? How come? Well, I mentioned it before. All of our classes are offered in sequential order semester to semester. Okay, it's a cohort system. And most of these classes are going to have a prerequisite that you complete the semester before. Okay, what if I took a bunch of architecture classes, interior design classes, landscape architecture classes at an outside institution? Are those going to help me proceed faster? Okay, well, not so fast, boss. You're going to have to submit a portfolio first because we have to make sure that whatever you learned at your previous institution meets the standards of the College of Architecture, Planning, and Public Affairs. So if you do have any previous classes that you think would apply to your current major, submit a portfolio to have it officially reviewed. Here's a little bit more information about the cohort system, what it is, how it works. But effectively, it is a sequence of classes that you take one after the other, semester by semester. And each course builds on the course that you learned before. And this is a great way to ensure that you and your fellow classmates are experiencing the same thing, are on the same page academically, and it does foster great cohesion amongst classmates. So hopefully you can use that to build connections with each other and to learn at the same time. And here's what you can expect over the course of your major. Effectively, each of the majors is comprised of a series of lecture classes, and those are paired with studios where you'll have hands-on design assignments, lessons, that sort of thing. At the completion of the intended portion of the program, so that means when you're done with your core and with your basic study courses, you're going to have to meet that benchmark of 2.8 GPA in order to proceed to third year, and that's what we call major declaration. Okay. If you're unable to meet that standard, you won't be able to continue on. So it's very important that you meet the minimum GPA requirements. And that's something that we'll be talking about semester by semester to ensure your success. So if you do have classes that you think will apply to your current major from a previous institution, you are going to be submitting a portfolio. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about what's involved with that. So since our program is design based, your portfolio should include projects that show freehand drawing and model building skills, because both of those are going to be part of the foundational instruction that you receive in each of our majors. And we're going to need a B or better for architecture and interior design courses that are transferred. Submitted portfolios and transcripts will be reviewed to determine if the work submitted is equivalent to any coursework in our program, to decide placement in our program, and to fulfill our first year foundations competency. A little bit about transferring credits and the different type of credits that are accepted. Take a look For dual credit, that's earned in high school, official transcripts from your college or university are going to be required, and those credits are going to be applied after the official transcript review. Okay. For transfer credit that's earned while attending another college or university, you're going to need the official transcript from that college or university, and then those credits are going to be applied after your official transcript review. For test credit like AP, IB, or CLEP, those official test scores are sent to UTA from the College Board or IB organization. Students are going to discuss the pending and previous test scores, and then the student will petition for those unclaimed credits in MyMath. It's a process that is usually something that students aren't familiar with, but I will help you claim those credits because they will be listed on your MyMath. So don't think that, you have to know exactly what to do with those. Just ask. This is what we call a major map, and these are available for most of the majors offered at UTA. And it's just a zoomed out picture of what you can expect over the course of your 4 years with the program. This is architecture. Here we have the major map for interior design. I'm going to kind of let it hang out for a little bit so you can get a look at this. And the major map for sustainable urban design. Feel free to pause this if I don't let it hang out for long enough so you can get a good look at it. These are some of the special academic requirements for the CAPPA majors. So review them, get to know them. Uh, of note, you only have 3 attempts allowed to achieve a satisfactory grade for each of the required major courses. So after your 3rd attempt, if it is not successful, you will be dismissed from your major. As far as the 6 drop limit, students who have enrolled in a Texas public institution of higher education as a first-time freshman in fall of 2007 or later are permitted to drop no more than 6 courses during their entire undergraduate career. That is, of course, only applicable if it is after the census date. So if you're vigilant, you can drop a class before the census date and it won't count against this 6 drop limit. This limit includes all transfer work taken at a Texas institution or higher education. So if you drop something after the census date when you were going to TCC, it might have counted against this. If you're curious, just ask us and we'll tell you what your drop limit is at the current time. For grade requirements, you need a C or better in all of your major courses, and that also includes math and physics. If it is below a C, it does not count as passing. And then for sustainable urban design, your major courses are going to include art, LARC, PAP, and plan courses. So plan on those being C or better as well. And yeah, just review these so that you are up to date on all of the different academic requirements going forward. Review these as well. These are additional special academic requirements. Satisfactory progress. Okay, you must maintain satisfactory progress towards your degree. That means that you can't stop taking your major courses and just pursue endless minors for years and years. The department is going to want to see that you are, being ambitious, taking on the next set of classes as they come. As far as professional conduct, we expect y'all to behave according to UTA's student code of conduct. Okay, you can be dismissed if we have too many instances of you not being able to maintain that professional conduct. And then, of course, you want to have good classroom and studio attendance. That is going to be one of the benchmarks in which you are graded, and you can fail a class if you don't show up. Okay. Additionally, you're going to have access to these studios after hours. So it is fundamental that you know that persons under the age of 10 are not permitted in any lab or studio space, just purely from a safety angle. And then finally, the excessive hours rule. This is something that you need to get a good look at because if you go more than 45 hours above what the required completion time for your degree or program is, you're going to start paying more tuition. In fact, it's going to be out of state tuition. So it is very important that you do not take a bunch of extra classes, that you remain focused on your target so we can keep your tuition down. There are a number of CAPPA affiliated student organizations that are a great way to meet fellow students and start developing connections. Okay, some of these student organizations have affiliations with architecture firms. It's a great way to not only meet additional people, but to get your name out there, both professionally and just socially. Here's some of our online info and social media. Check it out. We often are, announcing various events and opportunities through these social media channels, so you can, not miss out, basically. So, what are the top 10 things a new student needs to do? Number one is accept your admissions. It's something that you actually have to do on your own. Once you accept it, we can proceed with the official enrollment of you as a transfer student for UTA. You're going to need to take the TSI assessment test. This is going to evaluate your skill with both English and math. And then once that is done, you're going to want to make sure that you complete your admissions file. This is going to be the integral stuff that the university needs to process your official admissions. Okay, so stuff like your social security number, your address, your contact information. You're also going to want to get your meningitis vaccination paperwork submitted, and that's going to ensure that you're able to register for your classes and enroll accordingly. Okay, read the catalog, visit your department's website. In this case, it's going to be the CAPPA website. There's a lot of good information there. And then check out the academic calendar for important dates like first day of classes. When is the last day for me to drop my classes? When is the last day for me to register for my classes? Okay. You'll more than likely have to take the ALEX, which is a math placement exam. There are a couple of exemptions to this, so if you're not sure, you can check with our advising department. We'll let you know whether or not you are required to take it. And then receive your advising. Okay, go to orientation, both of which are going to be mandatory for your first semester. We'll help you register, but if your advising hold is lifted, you are free to register on your own as well. More than likely, you're going to have to buy textbooks, including the 1341 kit, and this is just some of the basic supplies that design majors need over the course of their first couple of semesters. And then ultimately, you're going to want to get your student ID and your parking permit, and then of course, activate your UTA email. Okay, if any of this is giving you trouble, you can reach out to us via email, and we will help you out with whatever you need. You're going to be using MyMath a lot during your time at UTA. And one of the great resources that UTA offers is the MyMath Fluid Resource Guide. And you can see here these arrows are pointing to a link to that guide. And this is a knowledge database that has step-by-step instructions on how to perform a lot of the fundamental actions that you're going to need as a student. So it's going to have step-by-step instructions on how to drop your classes, how to search for classes, how to register for classes, and all of that stuff. So anytime you have an issue, check on the Fluid Resource Guide, because more than likely the answer is going to be there, and it's a great first stop if you're having any kind of trouble with any of the processes that are required for UTA. So these are some of the common holds that will prevent registration when you see them in MyMath. And what a hold is it means there is a particular circumstance that requires some action in order to proceed with enrollment, registration, all of that good stuff. So if you see any of these, more than likely, some action is required on your part. The most common one that you're going to interact with is the academic advising hold. And what that means is it's MyMav's way of saying, hey, you need to go talk to your advisor. It's not an emergency necessarily, but it's UTA's way of ensuring that you get advised regularly. The registration agreement is something that's going to pop up every semester as well. And it's just a set of rules and regulations that you have to review and press accept. And then it will go away. So that is something that you can do on your own. But anytime you are having trouble doing something, whether it be paying for your classes, whether it be registering for your classes, talk to us, see if there are any holds on your account, because often it is, something that requires your attention, and then you can move forward with your semester to semester responsibilities. Common enrollment issues. You might get these messages when you select a certain section of a class you're supposed to take, and it either rejects you or it says, hey, something's wrong, basically. So you might get, hey, prerequisite error. And that means that you don't meet the requirements for that particular class. You might get an error that says, there's a time conflict, which means with the classes that you previously enrolled for that semester, something is overlapping, making it impossible to attend both of the courses that you've listed. Review these and make sure that you are familiar with them. So if anything pops up, you know exactly what the issue is and why you're not able to register with your current selection. And then, as always, if you're not sure, check with us and we will make it clear. If you have any additional questions that weren't covered in this presentation, please feel free to reach out to us via our arc.advising@uta.edu email, and we'll fill you in on whatever else you need information on, basically. Welcome to UTA. We are thrilled that you are here, and we hope that you have a wonderful academic journey with us on campus. Thank you for making it to the end of the presentation, and we're gonna end this by saying it's a great day to be a Maverick. Take care.